I am a third grade dual language teacher at Rocky River Elementary. I have used the Blooms app to communicate with families all year. It's very similar to Remind or Seesaw. So I've been using that, and I post weekly, sometimes daily, just updates for families. I make phone calls, especially during this time, messages, emails a lot with families and kids. We have a class Padlet where my kids can check in with each other. We're getting our feet wet with the Microsoft Teams, trying to start like morning meetings, continue that because we do that in class. My Spanish partner does it with Spanish, but we haven't started that with English yet. My kids have also really loved getting to continue on with science experiments. I've had to really adjust to what I would do. Normally we like to do ice cream in a bag, and that's not really possible right now. So we've had to come up with some other ideas, but I give them a ton of things they can do at home with help from family. That's been really fun. The parents send me their videos of their experiments. So that's been really neat. The kids have really enjoyed it.
Being a teacher at the early college, we had to establish contact with our students earlier than most in the county. We had already had our spring break when all this kind of happened. And we had to get back up and running with instruction. So since then, we've used a wide variety of resources to help us reach our kids and help them in this new learning environment. My sophomore team and I have set up Google Voice numbers to contact homes when we need to talk to parents or the students themselves. We've established a schedule for video conference using Microsoft Teams where students can drop in and ask us questions. We're constantly sending messages in Canvas to remind about tasks or assignments. Our students know that they can use Remind to send us messages during school hours, and we'll respond to those questions fairly promptly using that. Finally, we've sent a good number of emails during this time, checking off folks, see how they're doing, if there's anything that we can help them with. It's taken us using all these different avenues, but we have maintained contact with all of our students in some way.
Hi, I'm Cwynar, and I'm an 8th grade math teacher at Winkler Middle School. As you can tell, I have set up my office right here in the middle of our kitchen. It's not the best place as it's right in the middle of the action, but it works for us because just like a lot of people out there, I have 3 little kids also going through this remote learning experience. I've been trying to be myself and act like I normally would in the classroom. I try to be goofy and I just let them see what they're used to, because in this uncertain time, students need normal. I've also tried to do flip grids where I can see their faces and hear their voices because I do miss them. But I'll do silly things like say hi or tell me a joke, something just so we can still enjoy each other's company without being near each other.
Like everyone else, I think this has been a big learning curve, like trying to figure out how to teach certain things and what to teach. And I've worked really closely with my PLC this whole time to be really mindful and intentional about the assignments and the lessons that we're pushing out to our kiddos. After feedback from families, I have also switched over a couple of ways I do assignments just to better suit the needs for my kids and families.
Normally, I'm a project-based learning teacher. All of my instruction usually involves students actively engaging with historical information and then creating something from what they learn. Since going to online learning, though, that looks a little bit different. My first assignment during this time was an online speed date where my students got to impersonate and detail the lives of 1920s and 30s celebrities using this great resource called VoiceThread. They really enjoyed that assignment. But since then, I've been pacing out my instruction using my slides that I would normally use in my classes. I gave them access to a lot of crash course videos and online text and other resources. I've created online learning schedules and checklists with them to help them maintain a good pace for reviewing that information, but without bombarding them with deadlines and due dates to really stress them out. Students share all their progress with me on Google Drive, and I review their work and I offer them feedback along the way. It's been a pretty good system. It's taken a time for us to all to adjust to it, but as we approach our final week of instruction, we have fallen into a pretty good rhythm in this new format.
I will say this is hard. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I spend a lot of hours trying to perfect my lesson, trying to make sure that I am communicating what I want to in a short video that will hold their attention, and then provide them with tasks that I know they can do without being able to ask me questions right there. but also know that they can come to me with questions. I'll have students who will email me real quick and they'll say, I just don't get it. And we'll jump on Microsoft Teams and we'll do a quick tutoring session, and they're good. And that's what they need. That's what I need. It's nice to see them. It's nice to know they're okay.
I think this whole thing has taught me that my kids are a lot stronger than I ever thought they were. I think that I am more prepared than I thought I ever was to kind of switch things up at the drop of a hat and figure out how to best suit my kids. They have really exceeded my expectations on work and getting things completed, and they are so proud of the things that they're doing, and I'm so proud of the work that they're doing. It's been really, really interesting, and it's been really fun to see their work and how proud they are of what they're doing. So trying to really just focus on the positive and be really realistic of my expectations, but still my kids know that what they're doing, I still expect them to try their best and work their hardest. And I'm constantly giving feedback on assignments and checking in with them via our Padlet or the feedback on Google Classroom. So it's been really fun and really interesting and challenging, but it's been a good time.
I've learned a lot about my students and myself during this time. When we first started back with instruction, my students, they were ready for it. They had a desire to learn, and they wanted something to do during their time in quarantine, something I didn't really anticipate. Students were joining our video conferences just to check in and talk to us about school, about their assignments, and sometimes just what was going on in the world. I think this helped to create a shared experience for us all. That's something that we won't soon forget. As for myself, I learned that I'm a lot more flexible with my teaching style than I thought I was. The transition to online has been challenging, but I was surprised at how quickly I was able to establish a new normal for not only myself, but also for my students.
I have learned that my students really do miss school. They won't tell you. They probably won't tell their parents, but they miss it. They miss being together. They miss being with their friends. They miss being with their teachers. They miss learning in an environment that isn't staring at a screen. I've also learned that the students are amazing. They are working really, really hard in this situation that none of us have ever been a part of, and I'm super proud of all that they have accomplished. As for myself, I've learned that I really miss the classroom. I miss seeing the students, I miss seeing their reactions, I miss greeting them in the morning, I miss everything. I've also learned that it's really, really challenging to work a full-time job and be a homeschool teacher for my own kids. So shout out to all of you parents who are doing it. You're making it happen. I've learned that I have one of the best math PLCs in the county, and I'm very thankful for them as we work really well together, and it's made this very challenging time a lot easier.